Congratulations again. Pi Network pioneers, this is not a drill. What I'm about to tell you right now is the moment we've been waiting for. The Pi core team just dropped an update so massive, so explosive, that most pioneers are completely missing what's actually happening right in front of their eyes. Pi App Studio has been transformed. And I'm not talking about a small update. I'm talking about the final piece of the puzzle that connects directly to that GCV value of $314,159. If you've been sitting there wondering when the real utility is coming, when the apps are coming, when the ecosystem is going to prove itself to the world, this is it. This is the moment. This is the switch being flipped. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why the smartest pioneers are rushing into App Studio right now. You're going to understand why this update is the direct path to Open Mainnet. And you're going to see why the pioneers who act on this information are going to be the ones celebrating when GCV becomes reality. But first, we need to talk about what just changed at the very top of your Pi desktop. Because this one move tells you everything about where we are in the timeline. Hey pioneers, before that, as always, it's your usual host Nathan. I hope you're doing great today. Before we dive into the big update, I've got a quick question for you. Where are you watching this video from? Drop your country or city down in the comments. I love seeing how global our Pi family is becoming. And while you're at it, let's light up the comments. Type Pi to the moon if you're proud to be part of this journey. Don't forget to hit that like button to support the channel, and make sure you subscribe so you never miss the next big update. Pi App Studio is now at the top of your navigation bar, right next to mining. Right next to Node, front and center where you cannot miss it. Why does this matter? Because the core team just told you something without saying a word. They just showed you that building apps is now as important as mining P. This is the shift, pioneers. This is the transition from mining phase to utility phase. They don't make moves like this randomly. They don't put something at the top unless it's absolutely critical to what's coming next. And what's coming next? Mass adoption, mainstream users, millions of people flooding into Pi Network who need apps to actually use their Pi with. The core team knows this. Dr. Nicholas knows this. That's why they're making App Studio impossible to ignore. Because they need creators building right now. They need an army of apps ready to go when Open Mainnet hits. But accessibility is only step one. Because what they added next is where things get absolutely insane. And it has everything to do with artificial intelligence making millionaires. Here's where the game changes forever. Pi App Studio now has AI superpowers. Listen to this. You can now generate professional logos with AI. Click, done. Professional branding instantly. You can create AI-generated welcome messages for chatbots. Click, done. Perfect engagement from the first interaction. You can use AI-assisted editing to refine and improve your apps directly in the workflow. Build, test, improve, all with AI doing the heavy lifting. Do you understand what this means? Anyone can now build apps. You don't need coding skills. You don't need design skills. You don't need technical knowledge. The AI does it for you. This is Dr. Nicholas's vision coming to life. Democratizing app creation, putting the power in the hands of ordinary pioneers, making it so easy that thousands of apps will flood the ecosystem in weeks, not years. And here's why this matters to GCV. Because GCV isn't based on speculation. It's based on utility. It's based on real apps solving real problems for real users. And AI-powered App Studio is about to create a tsunami of utility. Every app needs Pi to function. Every app adds value to the ecosystem. Every app is another brick in the foundation that supports $314,159 per Pi. But creating apps is only half the equation. Because what the core team added next solves the biggest problem every app creator faces. And this feature alone could make early builders very wealthy. Now we're getting to the nuclear bomb hidden in this update. The feature that changes everything about how value flows in the Pi ecosystem. There's a new discovery interface. And in this interface, pioneers can explore apps. They can vote on apps. And here's the big one. They can stake P on apps. Let me say that again because this is critical. You can now stake your PI on community apps. Do you realize what this creates? This creates a direct economic incentive for building quality. The better your app, the more Pi gets staked to it. The more Pi staked to it, the more visibility it gets. The more visibility, the more users. The more users, the more value. This is a self-sustaining wealth engine. And the pioneers who build the first wave of successful apps, they're going to capture massive value when those apps accumulate staked Pi. They're going to be the established players when mainstream adoption hits. They're going to be the ones sitting on apps with huge user bases while everyone else is just getting started. This is exactly how early Ethereum developers made fortunes. They built when nobody was watching, they built when the ecosystem was young. And when mainstream arrived, they owned the infrastructure. That same window is open right now in Pi Network. Right now, today, this moment. But here's what most pioneers are missing. The staking mechanism isn't just about rewards, it's about proving value. It's about showing the outside world that Pi has real utility backed by real community consensus. It's about building the evidence that justifies GCV. And there's more, because the core team also solved the discoverability problem in a way that's going to accelerate everything. Now let's talk about how pioneers actually find these apps. Because it doesn't matter how good your app is if nobody can discover it. Creators can now assign categories to their apps: shopping, finance, social, entertainment. Real categories that make browsing easy. These categories show up in the ecosystem interface. So when pioneers want shopping apps, they see all shopping apps. When they want finance tools, they see all finance tools. Instant discoverability. This is how you build organic growth. This is how apps get users without spending money on marketing. This is how the ecosystem becomes rich and diverse and impossible to ignore. But wait, there's more. The chatbot interface has been refined for better readability. So chatbot creators get better engagement. Better engagement means more usage. More usage means more staked Pi. More staked Pi means more wealth for creators. And they added an App Studio demo video right on the front page. So brand new creators can watch one video and understand exactly how to get started. Zero barriers. Zero confusion. Just clear, simple instructions. Do you see the pattern here? Every single improvement is about removing friction, making it easier to create, easier to discover, easier to use, easier to stake. Why? Because they're preparing for scale. They're preparing for millions of users. They're building the infrastructure now so that when the flood comes, everything is ready. Everything works, everything flows. And that tells you everything about timing. Because you don't build infrastructure for scale unless scale is coming soon. Let's connect the dots, pioneers. Let's see the complete picture. Easy access at the top. Check AI tools for instant app creation. Check discovery interface with categories. Check staking mechanism for value flow. Check they're building a complete economy. A closed loop where apps get built, users discover them, value flows through staking, and utility explodes. This isn't preparation anymore. This is activation. This is the engine turning on. And here's what nobody's talking about. The core team's actions tell you more than their words ever could. When they move App Studio to the top navigation, they're saying utility phase is here. When they add AI creation tools, they're saying we need thousands of apps fast. When they add staking, they're saying we're ready to prove value to the world. Every move points to the same thing. Open Mainnet is close. Real adoption is close. The moment when Pi proves itself to the outside world is close. And the GCV of $314,159, that value doesn't come from hype. It comes from apps. It comes from utility. It comes from an ecosystem so valuable that the world can't ignore it. That ecosystem is being built right now, today, by creators using these exact tools. Here's the bottom line. Pioneers, Pi App Studio isn't just getting updated, it's becoming the economic engine that powers Pi Network's future. The core team just gave you AI tools, direct access, discovery systems, and staking mechanisms. Everything you need to build wealth in this ecosystem. The question isn't whether this matters. The question is, what are you going to do about it? The pioneers building apps today are positioning themselves for massive wealth tomorrow. When Open Mainnet goes live, when exchanges list Pi, when mainstream users flood in, the apps that are already established, already proven, already generating value, those are the apps that explode. This is your window, this is your opportunity. The tools are ready, the infrastructure is ready, the AI is ready. Everything you need is available right now, today, for free. So what are you waiting for? Get into Pi App Studio. Start exploring, start building, start staking on apps you believe in. The pioneers who act now will be the ones celebrating later. The GCV vision of $314,159 is built on utility. And utility is being created right now by ordinary pioneers with extraordinary vision. Be one of them. Drop your app ideas in the comments. Let's see who's actually paying attention. And if this video opened your eyes to what's really happening, smash that like button and subscribe, because we're covering every development that matters in this ecosystem. The revolution is happening, pioneers. The countdown is on. Don't be left behind. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.